What do the Pyramids of Giza, the Great Barrier Reef, and Machu Picchu have in common? They are all protected under a global framework designed to preserve humanity's shared heritage. That framework is led by the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, better known as UNESCO. But UNESCO is not just about heritage sites. UNESCO also shapes global education systems. UNESCO also promotes scientific cooperation. UNESCO also defends cultural identity. And UNESCO also supports press freedom worldwide. So, what exactly is UNESCO? How powerful is UNESCO? And why does it matter in global politics? Let's break it down. First of all, keep in mind that UNESCO was created in 1945, immediately after the Second World War. The war had just destroyed cities, libraries, universities, museums, and cultural heritage. So the founders of UNESCO joined together with a single belief that peace would not be secured only by military alliances. They believe that the peace only would be built through education, science, and culture. I would like also to say that UNESCO's constitution entered in force in 1946. And from that moment on, cultural and intellectual cooperation became part of the global peace architecture. So what does UNESCO actually do? UNESCO works across four main pillars: education, science, culture, and communication and information. The first pillar is education, and it says that the world needs to promote universal access to education. It also says that the world needs to coordinate global education goals, and it also says that UNESCO supports literacy and teacher training worldwide. The second pillar is science. UNESCO believes that it's extremely important to see in the world a scientific collaboration between all countries. UNESCO helps on this hard task, supporting climate research, ocean science, and biodiversity initiatives. The third one is culture. Culture says that UNESCO needs to protect cultural and natural heritage through international conventions. The fourth one is communication and information. That says the whole world needs to have freedom of expression. The whole world needs to support journalist safety, and the whole world needs to encourage access to information globally. So people have the right to freedom of speech. Journalists have the right to work in safety roles and workplaces, and every person in the world has the right to have access to information. according to UNESCO's pillars. It's very important to say that UNESCO does not impose policies on countries. It creates international frameworks and conventions that states voluntarily adopt. So its power lies in norm setting, not enforcement. The power lies in norm setting, not in enforcement. They are a recommendatory committee, right? Let's talk about a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about of the World Heritage Program. The World Heritage Program is UNESCO's most famous initiative in the world. Sites are recognized for their outstanding universal value. Examples include the Great Barrier Reef in Australia, the Pyramids of Giza in Egypt, the Machu Picchu in Peru, and the historic center of Florence in Italy. The countries need to nominate sites, and after this nomination, an expert committee needs to evaluate them. If this expert committee approves, the site gains international recognition and protection support by UNESCO. Although, keep in mind that heritage recognition can also become political. So, technical reasons sometimes don't win political motives to certificate a site, right? UNESCO believes this support is important due to the fact that cultural identity is deeply connected to sovereignty and history. UNESCO has three main governing bodies: the General Conference, the Executive Board, and the Secretariat. The General Conference involves all member states in a meeting that happens every 2 years. This General Conference has the purpose to define priorities and approve the budget, the world budget. The UNESCO also has the Executive Board that supervises implementations of decisions. The Secretariat is another part of UNESCO, is another body of UNESCO that handles daily operations. The Secretariat is led by which is led by the General Director of UNESCO. UNESCO also has over 190 member states. UNESCO's headquarters are located in Paris, the capital of France, symbolically aligned with culture and diplomacy. The current Director General is Audrey Azoulay. She was first elected in 2017 and re-elected in 2021. The General Director is nominated by the Executive Board and appointed by member states. The Executive Board supervises implementation of decisions. Okay? The general director is nominated by the executive board and appointed by member states. So all the 190 member states need to agree. It's also important to say that, like all the United Nations agencies, leadership reflects diplomatic negotiations and geopolitical balance. Keep in mind that UNESCO is funded by mandatory contributions from member states and voluntary donations given by NGOs, private companies, etc. For example, the United States withdrew from UNESCO in 2017 and rejoined in 2023. This shows how international institutions are deeply connected to political dynamics. UNESCO operates in a world where culture and diplomacy intersect. Why UNESCO matters today? In today's world, we face cultural destruction in conflict zones, climate threats to heritage sites, educational inequality, and misinformation. We also face attacks on press freedom. So UNESCO represents the idea that peace is built not only through military alliances, but through intellectual cooperation. It shapes global norms about culture, science, and education. And norms shape long-term global stability. The final thought is that UNESCO is not a global government. It does not control committees. Neither it shapes how the world thinks about knowledge, identity, and cultural value. It is a soft power institution. And in global governance, soft power often defines the future. If you want structured, high-level explanations about global institutions and multilateral systems, subscribe to the channel, because understanding these institutions is understanding how the world actually works. See you in the next video.